Welcome to another episode of Let There Be Talk, brought to you by CactusRadioNetwork.com. Go to that website and get all of my podcasts right now for free. At Home with Byron Katie, Dark Fonzie, The Grail, and Let There Be Talk. That is CactusRadioNetwork.com. Also, lots of new tour dates up right now at DeanDelRey.com. We got Campbell, we have Las Vegas, we have Escondido, and we have Fort Collins, Colorado so far. Hopefully some other tour dates will be up. And there is plenty of merch there. We are winding down the last of the Dark Fonzie merch, so pick that up before it's gone. DeanDelRey.com. Thank you for joining me. A fresh Monday, the last day of January. It's already flown by, and then here we are, February. Thursday will be my birthday. I'm going to be 56 years old. I cannot fucking believe it. Getting close to 60. Holy granddad, right? Insane. Insane to think. It's so funny to think when you're young, like, yeah, man, 60, those fuckers are old. It's wild. Wild to think about, like 4 years from now I will be 60. Hopefully I'm alive or whatever. I don't know. I got old shit going on all the time. My hips hurting. Went and got it checked. Could just be too much motorcycle growing up. Who knows? I don't know. But I feel great. And I'm constantly trying to stay positive, smiling through the fucking mask. You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks for supporting the show. And all you Patreoners out there, very cool of you. We've been doing some Zooming and a lot of bonus episodes. Patreon.com/DeanDelRey. New Patreons, Josh McGee. Awesome Patreoner. Goki Colts fan, Tony Gonzalez, AV, and Scott Glazer. Thank you so much, you guys. It means a lot to me, for real. It's a grind out here, doing all these podcasts and everything and trying to get funny. But I love it, and I love what I'm doing. And my guest today is, it was an honor to have him on. Speaking about people loving stuff, this man loves the guitar. When you think about it, you think about the blues. As cliche as it sounds, man, I mean, this is the obvious truth of the blues. You had to have had some falls. You've had to live some life. It's a lot like comedy. You had to, some bad relationships, maybe some mix-ups with booze and alcohol, ups and downs of the business, all kinds of struggle to have authentic kick-ass blues. And my guest today has had some struggles, and he has risen from them and has released an incredible record that just came out last Friday called The Crown. I'm talking about Eric Gales. And this record is fantastic. Do yourself a favor and dive into it. 16 songs of just kick-ass blues. Yeah, it was great to talk to this man. He lays it on the line. He opens up his heart. He tells you exactly what he's feeling. There's no filter, and I respect him for that. He is the real deal. It was great to talk to him, and I hope to see him out there on tour with Allman Betts this year. They're out right now. I'm looking forward to seeing that if I'm not on the road myself. Thank you, Eric, for doing the podcast. It was a great hour talking to you. What else we got going? A great episode of The Grail dropped on Friday with Vanessa Conlon, a wine expert, and what a great guest. I felt this was one really cool episode outside the box, like I said, with The Grail, always trying to have guests that went for it in life in an unusual occupation or whatever they're doing in life that blows my mind. That's not your standard 9 to 5. And Vanessa, boy, does she have a story. So check that out over on The Grail. And Byron Katie has been really smoking it. her podcast is shooting up the charts, which is great. So a lot of good stuff over there at Cactus Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Have a great week. Hope to see you guys at some shows. Get some tickets. It helps. Get them in advance so I feel good and I don't have to keep tweeting and being a cuckoo. And I hope you guys are all healthy. And here he is. Enjoy this. Candles lit for Mr. Eric Gales. There he is. Eric Gales is in the house. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm really tired, man. We've been moving and grooving for the whole time. We just got in last night and, still trying to get a little rest in and before starting this Allman Revival tour in a few days. And, things are moving pretty well, man. It's pretty good.
That's great, man. That's great. I love the merch right there. That's fantastic. The signature.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
That's very cool. How you been, man? You got the new record coming out, Crown, and you got a tour and a lot of good stuff happening for you compared to over the years, right?
Yeah, things are really good, man. It's branding and the new branding and everything, the new record, the singles doing great, and just very thankful, man. Everything's going good.
Where you at? Are you Memphis? Where you at?
No, I live in North Carolina.
North Carolina. Oh, wow. Nice. How long you been there?
Almost 10 years.
Wow. You like it?
Yeah, I met my wife here. So, it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful place.
Let's get into it a little bit here. I do remember back in I believe it was the 90s when I first started hearing about you. My buddy Mike Varney has Shrapnel Records, and that was that era of a lot of burning guitar, of all those guys and stuff. And then you had the big Mach 2, I would say, of blues with Stevie Ray Vaughan in the 80s. So blues guitar was starting to happen again. Johnny Lang, people like that were getting on the radio. It was kind of becoming a mainstream. And you got a deal on Elektra, 16 years old, and got out there, man.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome how it unfolded, man. You got the story. You told it better than me, so it's good.
Yeah, it was wild to think about this blues guitar stuff being played on rock radio. As far as, blues is, where rock comes from, but there it was full circle and in the mainstream with those guys. And record labels were signing people. They were out there and putting money into it. How did that happen for you early on? You start playing guitar? Is it Hendrix? Or what was it for you?
The combination of everything, man. Just everything. I was being turned on to everything. And we played this Battle of the Bands show, and it was a producer there that liked what we did and took us in the studio for the first time. We did demos, and they went crazy, and we got a record deal. Basically, the short story, the short version.
Wow. It happened quick, huh?
Yeah, pretty quick.
And at the very beginning, was it always single coil Stratocaster sound for you?
For me, yeah. I was more drawn to the single coil. I just for my own preference, that was it. It's not particularly because of Hendrix or anything like that. It's just for my own liking. It was the Strat sort of tone that I like.
Yeah, the Strat, I got to tell you, it will expose a bad player. You cannot be a mediocre player and play a Strat, because you'll be like, it's not like a PAF where you can just get a lot of dirt and get away with some stuff. You play that Strat, and we're gonna know if you can play or not.
Yeah, man, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a really good point. I think that point applies to any guitar. Straight into an amp. I think that for my taste applies more. With just an amp and a guitar. No pedals, no nothing like that. It lets you know. It separates the men from the boys.
It really does. Early on, what was it? What'd you have? Like a super reverb, a 410 Bassman? What was it?
No, man, we really did. I didn't have an amp actually at first. It was just a Hackstrom, an old Hackstrom around the house that me and my brothers would, clang on and jam on and stuff like that. And that was the startup, for the house. My brother, had Marshall, around a twin and stuff like that. That because he was my brother had already been in bands even before I was born, so he had some stuff. But when I was begin to spring up. It was a little Hackstrom around the house.
Man, there's nothing funnier than when you're playing on your first guitar compared to when you get like quote unquote the real guitar, like a Fender or a Gibson. All of a sudden you feel like, oh wow, I can play so easy now.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, the Hackstrom was very unforgiving, but I think it happened how it was supposed to, man, because the quote unquote difficulty of playing that Hackstrom, I think, helped wean me and helped me be even more prepared for, going through the hard route helped it be a whole lot easier for when the good stuff came around. I'm not saying that Hackstrom is not some good stuff, but, comparatively, and it's in the eye of the beholder who thinks that what's good and what's not, but comparatively, when you come from a Hackstrom and you finally get a Fender, even if it's a Squire or something in your hands, you're like, okay, this plays a little bit better than, because at that time, I don't think there was any focus on the intonation or the height level of the strings or whatever. And I can't remember or not, but I'm sure it wasn't all that easy to play it. But if you learned on something like that, then you should be all right when the good stuff comes around.
Yeah, that's true. Nothing like a first guitar you get that's set up by somebody that professionally sets a guitar up with the string height. You're barely pressing the strings, and you're right, great intonation and everything. All of a sudden, you're like, oh wow, this is like a Cadillac.
Exactly.
In the 80s, were you listening to any of the rock coming out, like say Guns N' Roses and those kind of players?
Not really, man. I mean, I was hearing it on the radio, but it wasn't nothing that I preferably had blasting all the time. I was on Robin Trower, man. Robin Trower, Frank Marino, Eric Johnson, Stevie Ray, Vanilla Fudge, Blue Cheer, Albert King, Muddy Waters, John Lee Hooker, Roy Clark, Chet Atkins, Jerry Reed. I was on that type of stuff. Kenny Burrell, Tuck Andres, Emily Rimler, Taj Mahal, Freddie King, all of them cats. I was on all of that, bundled up together.
Man, Frank Marino, I've seen him play twice. What an underrated player that guy is. What a killer.
Yeah, he's a monster, man. He's a real monster. No joke about it.
Yeah, man. And Robin Trower, I mean, there was a time, I grew up in the Bay Area. There's a time where Robin Trower, Johnny Winter, Frank Marino, these guys were doing arenas and stadiums,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And the Nugent, the Nuge, all those guys.
I particularly wouldn't, I can't tell you a song done by Ted Nugent, to be honest with you. I'm definitely familiar with who he is, and he definitely cemented his name and legacy in the music world, but I'm not that, up to taste with unfortunately my acquaintance with Ted Nugent is hearing some things not so good about him, for more lack of better words, and I'm not talking bad about him. It's not me that said it. It's just things that have surfaced around, that some beliefs that he has that is kind of against the grain from normal mindset. You know what I mean? And, everybody's entitled to their opinion or thought process or belief or whatever. But if it's just not for me, it's just not for me.
Yeah. I understand what you're talking about. It is tough to get into Nugent in the last 15, 20 years of his politics. And unfortunately, that seems to be more what he was about than in the 70s when he was a rock and roller. And I understand 100% because I am, I am not in any of those beliefs that he likes to, speak about, which is rough, is rough.
It is, man. It really is. Cause I'm not really, up to par with exactly what it is that he's been saying, but I've seen some posts from people that say that they're appalled by ever even being a fan of the dude by hearing the stuff that he has been saying and this propaganda that he has been putting out there. And again, everybody's entitled to what they choose to believe in or whatever. And if it closes your mind, on reality that is evidently here in a way that encompasses, all races, all creeds, all colors, all kinds, all walks of life. It takes all the ingredients to make the bowl of gumbo taste like it's supposed to taste. So, with that being said, if you are willingly exiting out an ingredient of the gumbo because of a belief that you don't think it's good enough or you don't think that it deserves the same treatment as everything else, then somewhere in there, I have a problem with that, because that's not how it's supposed to be, and again, I'm not speaking any malice against the guy or anybody that may even have the same thought process as this dude. I mean, we can sit here and talk about it, but we know that there's a problem in this world. There's a problem in this world in a major way, and it still is a problem. And we, as individuals, we as human beings, all should be doing what we can to move the paradigm, and change and shift the paradigm into where, every single person that is looked at through a set of binoculars or through a set of eyeballs looks to be equal, and if it ain't, then that's where a problem lies, and I don't want people to give me a pass that may think that way, that may be of the opposite color, that give me a pass because of me holding a guitar in my hand. Well, I'm doing this interview with you right now without a guitar in my hand. And that's how I want the respect to come first and foremost, because this is who I am. I am this before I'm a guitar player. And if you got a problem with that, then it really, really, really is don't mean a hill of beans to me what you got to tell me about how you think or how you admire my guitar playing, because really it's going off of deaf ears, because there's an individual behind that guitar. If you just want to peel back the onion, and the instrument can't play itself. So they got some technology that can make it do it, but somebody has to be, there has to be a heartbeat. There has to be blood running through some veins to, actually be the portal to make that happen. And, it doesn't matter who, what race, what color, what sexual preference, what gender, it has nothing to do with it. And, we're all made in an image of one person. And I don't know nobody on this earth that has been here that is perfect, except for one supposed person. And all that I try to do is do my part and make today a little bit better than yesterday. If we all do that, then we good, man. And I didn't mean to dive off into that, but it just kind of, the conversation just kind of took a turn that way a little bit. And again, I understand that this interview, you have a lot of followers that, follow you on this platform. And I'm very, very honored. I'm very, very honored, man, that I am getting the calls. As tired as I am, I'm very, very honored to get the calls and the emails for people that want to do interviews about this new record and things of that nature and see the light. But this whole record has an overtone of messages that needs to be heard by the entire world. Me, Joe, Josh, my wife, Kelp Mo, Tom Hambridge, James House, all of us that were involved with writing this record, meticulously tried to do it in which where I'm not trying to push nothing down to anybody's throat. I'm just simply trying to have a conversation with you because, simply put, there may be some people that listen at this record that may be very ignorant to some things that's going on in this world. Like you may be ignorant to them because this is how you might have been taught. The exact way that what's wrong with this world is exactly how you might have been raised or you might have been taught. And that's not your fault because this is information that has been passed down to you. And now you holding it to be gospel when it's not. So, and I'm here as a black man, that just so happened to play guitar, and I have an outlet to express myself generally 9 times out of 10 without having to say a word. And that's the common ground that I think is going to bring and continuously bring people together because I see it every night. I just saw it on the past tour. I have been seeing it where there is a combination of black, white, all kind of ethnicities, all kind of cultures, creeds, sexual preferences in one room at the same time, all enjoying themselves with no problem. So can't nobody in this world tell me that it isn't possible for that to happen because I have had several audiences with a mixture and a blend in there, and there was no fights, there was no arguments, there was none of that. Now, I believe to really point to the fact that's what you said about Nugent and the politics and all that. If we leave the politics alone, if we stop having a debate about that, then we may come to a common agreement about something. You know, when you go right or you go left or you go such and such, you know what? At the end of the day, none of that really is conducive to them caring about you as an individual. You have really no merit in the politic world. It really is nothing that is, it really, when it boils down to it, it's not about the individual. It's not about a single person. They are making decisions that benefit them. They're making decisions that benefit the upper class. And we know that this world don't exist on only upper class. There's middle and there's low class. You know what I mean? So if we all are viewed and looked at as the same, if we can go in there and not be talking about politics, we ain't gonna have no problems. We ain't gonna have no problems. So I appreciate you for letting me have this microphone for a few minutes just to, get all of that out, because I couldn't have said one part of this conversation without finishing up with the rest. I see the good in everybody. And, I often say sometimes at a show after I'm done, and it really makes the people there think about it. I say, here's the most important thing that I can say to you. Allow me an opportunity to make you hate me before you hate me. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you a reason to not like me before you automatically don't like me. And I don't end it with that. I end it with, and that street runs both ways. And on top of that, how can I say that street runs both ways when black and white aren't the two streets, aren't only the two streets that's in this world? There is a 10-lane highway. There is a 50-lane highway. But it's sad that I specifically got to talk to the black and white and say that street runs both ways. I'm not pointing out one and leaving out the other. I am pointing out white people and I'm pointing out black people that may feel or think that way. You're cutting yourself off from some really cool people that could be in your corner by disliking them just because of the color that they are. And it is really strong. And I'm talking about this because, there are some issues that is being, addressed in this record in a very, very cool way. And here's the other part. If people got something really to think about, this record was put together by a black and a white dude. You follow what I'm saying? So, here is the ultimate example of two human beings coming together as one to make a record that, I think that the world will appreciate. I think that we have some really nice guitar playing, if you will. We got a little bit of guitar playing on there that I think is, it's going to be the draw in factor. But we got some really, really great lyric content that is it's some of the best work that I've ever done in my life.
It's amazing to sit down and think about that, because I am a comedian And every night I do, rooms full of Black, white, Asian, gay, lesbian, Hispanic. The whole room is a melting pot, and they're all laughing together. And I sit in there and I say, you know what, man, this is what we need to battle the politicians and those forces. We need to come together, laugh and love, and squish out that shit that they're trying to force down on us, And one of my biggest points is there are people that voted against gay marriage at an Elton John concert. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. That's funny. That's funny as shit, bro.
Yeah. It's like, you can't be a hypocrite. It's unbelievable. It's like, that's a gay man you spent $200 on a ticket for, but then the next day you'll be homophobic. So same with music. There's so many white people that listen to hip hop and watch football. I'm like, how are you racist and watch football?
Or any sports for that.
Any sports except for baseball. Baseball is all they get.
I mean, we can't say baseball either because we got some in that too. So maybe we want to say water polo or something more. I was gonna say rugby, but we can't say that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I agree, man. And I laughed about the Elton John thing because I met Elton John. I hung out with him for a little while, man. My friend Raphael Sadiq was working on a session, and he called me to come and do some acoustic overdubs, and he didn't tell me who the artist was. I walk in the studio and it's fucking Elton John, bro. And it was like insane. So that's what made me laugh even more about, the Elton John thing. But yeah, man, it is, I'm just appalled that, it's 2021, almost 2022, and we're still having to have debates, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy. And, I in some kind of way, man, whatever I can do, hopefully this record will help peel back the onion for some people to understand, man. We all have a contribution to this, to this thing that we call a world that, and all we got to do is do it. And you have no idea the amount of love and compassion that is in this world. And again, you don't know the amount of the opposite that's in this world. You know what I mean? And if true love and compassion was exhilarating or exhilarated through everybody in this world, there would be no reason for any drugs anymore. Because, you don't need no drugs no more because that's a high that you don't need nothing else for. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's an ongoing fight. That shouldn't be an ongoing fight, man. These incidences that happen with, the cops and, shootings and stuff like that, man, it's off kilter, man. It's way off kilter, man. There's no way that things could happen in a white setting, and you put a black person in that same setting. It's not going to be the same. I don't know no black person that's gotten found not guilty for something that they done that should have been found guilty for. I don't understand it, man. And it's screwed up, and you're going to always and continue to have outrage about stuff. Like just recently, because the Wisconsin thing, like, yo, bro, this dude, let that been somebody black waving an AR-15 going down the street at a protest. Go, look, you let that been a black person that didn't even have a gun at a protest. You follow what I'm saying? They'd have been gone. If they had a gun, they would not even made it to jail.
Nope.
It's not, it's those type of things. And then the guy go and he get acquitted. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Like, that is infuriating. That is very infuriating. And for people to not understand why we as a culture are upset at things like that, you don't see how fucking ass backwards that shit is right there. You don't see that. You don't see that.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
man.
no way. So I just try to do my part. And at least I know for the 90 plus minutes that people are at my show, that shit is not happening at my show. You know what I'm saying? At least I know that much. And that's my contribution to try to make my country great again. It's by bringing people together. That is the way that I call making a country great again. Is doing it that way, by bringing people together, causing smiles on people's faces, making people cry, making people purge, and getting an exhilarating feeling of how great that felt from something that they have no idea what was being said or what was being played about, but they knew that they felt some type of feeling from what I was able to, and me and my team was able to make happen on that stage that moved them so much that they leave out of that venue thinking a little bit more different than when they came in there. Maybe leaving out of there with a little more compassion for their fellow man or their fellow neighbor. If that is the goal that I want to reach every night, then I am going to continue to do that every single night until I can't do it no more. I have to do it. I have to do it, man. So, it's not a thing that I talk about lightly, or I'm not out there as a rally sort of person, man. But when the issue and the situation comes up, I talk about the situation, man. And if right is right and wrong is wrong. And at the end of the day, if your eyes are blinded by what is right and what is wrong, I don't have a problem with you saying, man, I'm confused. I don't know what's right or what's wrong, as opposed to going forward with actually walking around blind as hell all your life and you don't say nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just those things. And this record embodies that. This record embodies not only that, but it embodies some really good points that's made again. And I'm just there to try to have a conversation with the listener. I'm not forcing nothing down anybody's throat. I'm not demanding you do something. I'm not demanding. I'm just trying to put something on your mind to make you think a little bit with a little music behind it.
Let me ask you something, Eric. You get the record deal, you're 16, you start touring, you're out there and everything. Where does it start to go south for you? Is it in your 20s? What happened?
Around about the 20s, 19, 20, man. I got, involved in street life, man, and everything that involves in it. And the dope and all that stuff. And it was one of the worst decisions I ever made, man. Having an encounter with this little substance called cocaine the first time, and I tried it on a dare, and that sent me off the rails for almost 30 years, bro.
Damn.
And I have a story behind all that. I got several friends and people I looked up to, and most of everybody that I'm influenced, a lot of people that I'm influenced by are dead, are gone, and they died at 27 years old. And, I don't know how or why I'm even here having this interview with you, because I'm supposed to be pushing up daisies just like them. But I thought playing music was my purpose in life, my friend. I really did, but no, it's not. My purpose in life was to have gone through what I went through, to be able to show the next person that I went through what I went through, and now I'm up here to play about it and show you that there is hope. And for the people that don't do dope, that got family members that's hooked on something, or friends that's hooked on something, I need them to know that there is hope. And it's hard to not give up on somebody you care about. It's very, very hard. It's very, very hard, man, when, they're doing everything wrong in the book against you and, looking at you like you're an enemy and this and this and that. It's not easy, man. It's not easy, man. But I got somebody that came into my life that showed me that there is another life. And, not only did there's another life, but I know for a fact that I've been given a gift by the big man upstairs, man. Like, yo, man, I'm not dumb. I know that I possess something that has the capability of touching someone else's soul by just simply doing what I do. And that diamond had been dull for 30 something years, and I'm alive. So my purpose in life is to have survived what I went through and give that story along with my show so people know what I've been through. It may be people that's at my show that have no idea what I've been through. That's why I tell my story at the beginning of the show every night. So they know, yeah, I'm up here to entertain you, but I need you to know what this person has been through that's standing in front of you. Just so you know, just so you know. And, if that gives a little inspiration to somebody that's there, that may be destitute, that may be, on their last leg, that may be such and such. It's many people that came to my shows and heard my story and told me, man, the night that I heard you tell your story, that was the last night I got high. Or that's the last night that I such and such, such. Or prior to your show, I was ready to kill myself. And like, dude, we get these messages and inboxes all the time. So if I'm making an impact on people's lives like that, man, I don't have any words. I don't have any words for it, man. So one by one, if I'm able to help aid somebody to think about something that may be going on, not satisfactory to them in their life, to where they can turn it around like I did. And it's having this interview with you shortly coming up on 5.5 years clean. And it is mind-boggling that that's happening for me. It really is, man. And all of the things that are coming my way now that I just decided to get myself right and myself together, man, it's just very fascinating, man. And I'm very glad to be alive to see it happen.
Take me through the process of how did you end up getting clean? I know you hit rock bottom, you went to jail and all that, but what gets you finally clean? Do you go through a program or
I went through a program. I went through a program in Nashville and Cumberland Heights. Shout out to Cumberland Heights, man. And my man Harold Owens over at Music Cares. It's a great group, and they are there for support and help, and they paid for the whole ride for me, man. And I went after the many times that I've tried to do it before, but I wasn't really ready, man. But this time I went in. I went full in, and took something away this time. And I can't believe that it took. It took. And but it can only take if you really ready. You know what I mean? You got to be ready, man. And without going too much in depth about the goings ons and the ins and outs of it, basically, I gave up on trying to do it my way. You know what I mean? And my way damn near killed me. And, it was another way, man. It was another way, man. And I got my life back, man. I got my life back. I'm not held to a ball and chain anymore, and that ball and chain got heavy after over 30 years, man. And so, it's a great turnaround, man. It's a great turnaround, and I can't be more. I can now uncover all the mirrors at my home and look at myself when I walk by them.
During your whole rock bottom era, were you still playing guitar at all, or was that completely out?
I mean, I ain't gonna say completely out, but it was definitely down on the totem pole. It wasn't like my priority was getting high, finding some dope, finding somebody I could get over on, this and this and that. But the music, I always had a song or something, I pawned everything. So sometimes I didn't have nothing to play. And, the music never left me. It really never left me. It was me that, wandered off. And, when I rekindled back with it in full stride, it was right there for me, man. Like when I first got clean, I was really concerned on whether I was going to be able to, dive into ideas that I would get when I was high. And I thought that was the best shit I ever had come to my mind in life. But little did I know that not being high was far more better than any day that I had been high, that I thought that was the best shit in my life. And, it's like, it's all raw. Nothing's in the way. So I got a straight connection. You know what I mean?
Let's get into it. So your career was booming. Then you hit rock bottom. You're gone for like 30 years. Then how do you end up on this blues cruise and sitting in with Bonamassa? Did he invite you onto the cruise, or how does this happen?
Yeah. So I'd been on the cruise 2 years prior to that. I began to start, even though I was still getting high, I began to start, getting myself together enough to be reliable to show up for shows and not be unpredictable. So I had been there and, this was the second time at that time that Joe had said, they had hit us up and hit my agency, and we wanted Eric Gales on the cruise, and I had played and did my thing, and we were chatting on the boat, and we saw each other, and he said, "Man, Eric, I want you to sit in with me on the last day on the last song," and then that's how it wound up happening. And again, me and Joe had been buddies we met 30 years ago, and his went that way and mine went that way, and I'm just very privileged to, very thankful to have survived to still be here.
Now, so you reach out to him and have him, you ask him to produce your record. He says yes. And this is how The Crown starts. Where do you guys record it? Do you use tape? Are you in a studio? What happens?
We were in a studio. We used Pro Tools. We were in Nashville at Sound Emporium and Ocean Way. We did it at two places.
Wow.
And we did that. And yeah, man, pretty, there's no off-kilter story that I have to tell you about the whole studio recording process. It was pretty much, we got tones, went in there, laid the songs down. Everybody was in there. We all cried damn near every day because it was such emotional, lyrics and content. And, even before the lyrics were put down and the vocals got put down, the music was so intense. And, I'm in there, and it was just great, man. It was really great.
I would say this track, I Found Her, is definitely the quote unquote, the crown jewel of this record, man, because
I agree.
I rocked the opening track. What is it? The Death of Me. That is an evil kick-ass riff, man. I mean, I got goosebumps right now because I listened to that riff and I was like, wow, that is a goddamn dark riff. I love a record that opens with a dark riff. But then, so I'm listening to the record, I'm cruising, and then all of a sudden it hits, I Finally Found Her. And I'm like, ooh, man, this is beautiful because I'm a sucker for ballads. And it's got this killer acoustic playing at the front and throughout the song. And then all of a sudden it just kind of goes dunk, gunk, gunk. And then here comes blazing electric guitar. And I was like, wow. I came over and played it again. I go, oh my God, this tune is fire, man. I love that. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate you for pointing that out, man. That is a beautiful song that is completely about my wife. And I when we finished it, I said 70 and 80-year-old couples will be playing this at their anniversary. Newlyweds will be playing this at their wedding. It's just one of them type of songs, man, that gives you, it's very touching, man. It's very touching.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And then the video with Joe Bonamassa, the two of you in the boxing ring and everything. Very cool. Yeah. Fun video. Awesome. So you record the record. How many days did it take you to do it?
It took about, off and on, it took about 3 weeks.
Right.
We did some, had to take a little pause for a minute, come back, did a little bit, and then did a little bit more. So off and on, about 3 weeks.
Now you're getting ready to do this Allman Betts, which, by the way, Dwayne Allman, the all-time god and one of the greatest ever. And talk about a man who definitely promoted, love through everybody, their concerts and Bill Graham and what all those guys did. And all the way up to the hippie era, as hippie as that sounds, was beautiful.
Right.
But now you're going out with the Allman Betts and that whole Allman Revival thing. That's got to be incredible. Are you going to be sitting in doing any Allman Brothers?
Yeah, man, they got it all lined up for each guest to do an Allman Brothers song, but it's also going to be where each artist can do one of their songs too. You know what I mean? So you're actually getting this first. I'm actually going to be doing Crown.
Wow. On
the tour, me, Devin, Dwayne, maybe Robert Randolph too, just switching out. And I'm not sure yet which Allman Brothers song that I'm going to do yet, but it should be a really, really great time, man. We're looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Which one would you want to do?
It really don't matter. It really don't matter.
Yeah.
It really don't matter, man.
Yeah.
Either one. It don't matter to me. It's all good.
What a band, huh? The Allman Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. Man. You
Oh, yeah.
listen to any current music?
Man, to be honest with you, my radio is always on the hip hop station. I'm a big hip hop fan, man. I'm 2 Chain, everything, man. I like a lot of that. To the contrary, everything that I play is only being listened to when I'm performing. You know what I mean? But I actually take a lot of influence from hip hop and R&B and stuff like that, such as the song "Stand Up" that's on the record. It kind of has a kind of D'Angelo-ish. I think it's a Chris Stapleton meets D'Angelo sort of vibe on that "Stand Up" song. You know what I mean? And it's I take a lot of influence and inspiration from all styles of music, man. So it could be anything. It could be listening to Mono Neon. I could be listening to Moonchild. I could be listening to John Mayer, John Lee Hooker. It just all depends. It's just ain't no telling.
Yeah. I was really loved the flavor of this song. What is it? Take Me Just As I Am. It felt like Rolls Royce to me, man.
Exactly. It's that type of situation. It was Joe's idea for LaDonna to do a feature song, man. And, it's just, it was very fitting. And it turned out really, really well, man. Yeah, you got me when you said Rolls Royce.
What a group, man. What a group. I mean,
yeah, it was.
I love that car wash film, and that soundtrack is just riddled with those guys are legends, and there's another underrated group right there,
Yeah, they're legends, man.
You get into Marcus King at all?
He's a really good friend of mine. I love Marcus King.
He's unbelievable.
Love that dude. I love that dude, man. He is insane. Oh my God, he's insane.
He is insane. He is insane.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love that dude, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You got a great record there, and I'm happy that you're alive and clean and out there playing the guitar. Now, wait, you got your own guitar out now?
I do. It's the Magneto Raw Dog Sonnet. It's the RD3. The original ones that came out originally are about $4,500 to $5,000. And then I had a conversation with Chris Haslett over at Magneto, the president over there. And we came up with a way to do one without compromising the integrity of the guitar or the affordability of the quality or anything like that. And we came up with really good way to have regular people be able to have access to getting this guitar. It launched again like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and they sold out within the first 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what's the amp you rock?
Raw Dog, the Raw Dog. It's by DV Mark. DV Mark is the guitar side of Mark Bass, the Mark Bass company. And, it's a 2 preamp solid state power amp. It's about this size, and it packs a punch. It's a single clean channel, and it's 250 watts, and it is amazing.
Whoa, 250 watts.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
What are you rocking for pedals?
Man, I got a couple little things. Wah Wah, Tech, a Dunlop Wah, Tech 21 delay. My Raw Dog pedal made by MXR that came out not long ago. A Brute Drive, old exotic Brute Drive, the Eric Gales model actually. A whammy pedal, and I have the Colossus Fuzz made by Mojo Hand, and I got an Octavia on there, and that's about it.
Did I hear some guitar going through the Leslie on this record?
Yeah. I played actually through a real Leslie.
Sounded great.
It did. It sounded good as shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I know, right? Because those simulators never sound like that, man. I heard it. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's the real deal right there, man. Yeah, we had a good time with this record.
Well, I like I said, happy you're alive, and congrats on the record. It comes out in January. The single's out right now, and it's on YouTube. You can watch the video with Eric and Joe Bonamassa. And Joe's a neighbor of mine. I just saw him a couple days ago.
I was about to say, where are you, in Nashville?
No, I'm in LA, but he's
okay.
Yeah. So
I've been up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the worst driveway ever.
You ain't kidding.
Scary shit. You're like, hey, dude, watch out, man.
Dude, what the fuck is this, dude?
Yeah. Well, I I hope to see you when you come to town. I'm going to, if I'm in town, I'll come down to the show because I tour a lot, but I would love to see you. And, and thank you for doing the show, man. And thank you for getting deep with me and talking from your heart, because that shit is real. And like you said, man, the guitar does not play itself, and don't give me a pass because I'm playing a guitar. That is beautiful shit right there.
Dude, that shit's dope, man. Wow. Thank you so much, man. I thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Rock on for me, man.
Thank you, bro.
See you, bro.
Ciao.